Welcome to the People2people tutorial on how to fill in your timesheet. To start, you're going to need to go to the people2people website. The address is www.people2people.com.au, and as you can see in the address bar here, the 2 is the number 2. Once you've accessed our website, you'll be able to see there's a section in the middle called Talent Portal. This is the section where you will be able to access your timesheet, and you're going to need to hit the login button. Once you've done that, it will take you to the Talent Portal where you'll be asked to log in here. You're initially sent your username and a temporary password when you first start working for People2people. You'll have the opportunity to update that password so it's something particular to you. And your username is normally your email address. Okay. Once you've logged into the Talent Portal, you can see you can actually do a number of things, from a WHS assessment to updating your payroll and bank details, editing your profile, and looking at any attached documents that we may have attached to your profile. But today, because we're looking at timesheets, we want to hit the My Timesheets button. So I go ahead and click that, and when the screen refreshes, you can see I've got 3 different options. I've got a section for overdue timesheets, a section for the current week's timesheet, and a section where it looks at timesheet history. So these are the old timesheets that have been approved by the client, and you'll be able to access them here. So I'm going to start by looking at overdue timesheets. If I click the orange button, the screen refreshes, and what you can see here is a timesheet relating to this job, so a testing job with People2people, because this is a test account, for the week ending the 15th of November for 42.5 hours, and you can see that we submitted a timesheet but it's not been approved. So you'll always have this alert that lets you know when you've got timesheets that are overdue. The other reason that timesheets may appear here is if you've not submitted hours for a particular week. Or if you've logged in on a Monday and you want to access last week's timesheet, so for the timesheet for the previous week, you will actually find it in the overdue section. Now if I click on the current timesheet, you can see that I have a timesheet here for the current week, for the week ending the 29th of November. You can see the client name, and you can see that currently we have no hours submitted and that the timesheet is new. So that means that basically we haven't submitted it. To access the timesheet, we just click on it. And the screen will refresh and you'll have access to the timesheet. Now, some things to have a look at. You can see that currently there are no hours associated with it. We can see the client, the job title. We can see the week ending or the week period that we're related to. We can see the status of the timesheet. We can see the days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. And we can see that we've got some actions over here, which we will talk about in just a moment. And plus there's some buttons down the bottom. To actually start filling in your timesheet, click your cursor into the first box and start typing. Now, one thing to be aware of is that it's a 24-hour clock. So if you finish at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you have to enter your hours as 17.00, and then you get to the break field. So we've started at 8:30, we've finished at 5, and the break fields are where we enter our breaks. Now, there is a limit on the number of minutes that you can enter into break 1 because the break sections have to be filled in minutes, not hours. So if you've taken an hour for lunch, then you need to write in 60 minutes. And then if perhaps over the total day you actually had longer break because for whatever reason, you have to enter the other minutes into break 2. And then you tab. You can see here that it's calculated the number of hours that you've worked for that day, and here you have the option to add some notes. So I might put here, took a 30-minute. Okay, and then I can just tab across until I can see the next box for Tuesday highlighted, and then I'm going to go ahead and enter my hours. Now here's a little trick that we can do. If you're working the same hours for the week, you don't have to go and individually put them in. You can use this option here which is called copy down. So if I select that, the timesheet will refresh and you can see that I've got a start time and the same end time and break times for the rest of the day. So now the one thing to keep in mind is if there is any variation, you are going to go and have to amend it. So I might do this and amend that so it's change the hours. Now I can save the timesheet at any point. So I'll just go and do that now. Okay, and it lets me know that that's been successful by saying the timesheet entries have been saved, but the timesheet status is still new. Now, let's say we worked on Saturday. You can see that there's no option for Saturday here, but if I use the green plus sign in the actions section, I've got the option to, I'll just change that to the 28th, to add a line. And so I've selected the date, and then I can put the hours. Well, let's just say on Saturday I worked from 9 until 12, and I had 0 break. And I can save my timesheet again. And you can see now the timesheet's refreshed, and Saturday is now appearing, and my hours are saved. Now, you've also got the option of removing a day. So let's say I'll just add a Sunday, just so that I can show you. And we'll just make those hours. Whoops, put a 0 in there. Save my timesheet. So let's just say my timesheet actually had a Sunday already on it, but I didn't work that day. You can actually remove that by clicking the X button. And when the timesheet refreshes, you'll see that day's disappeared. Now once we've saved everything and we can see the total is changed to 43.75 hours, once we're happy, we can submit the timesheet for approval. So if I click that button, now we can see that we get a big yellow bar here that says the timesheet cannot be edited, and we can see here that it looks a bit different, and if I click, I can no longer go into the timesheet and make any amendments. The timesheet status has changed to submitted. So if I just click back to my timesheets, now you can see when we look at our current week's timesheet that the hours have updated to 43.75 and the timesheet status has changed to submitted. So what happens next? Once you've submitted your timesheet, an email will go to your client supervisor who will be able to review and approve the timesheet. Once the timesheet's approved, it will be processed in line with the day of the week that you're normally paid on, and you'll receive a pay slip once those hours have been processed. If you have any questions on how to fill in your timesheet, you should contact your consultant on 1300 121 727 or use the message function at the bottom of the web page to contact payroll directly, and they can help you whilst you're online. I hope that was helpful. Thank you very much.